a huge clash. Welcome to the broadcast.
Pleasure to be here, Brandon. And yes, indeed, it'll be an interesting affair between these two rivals tonight. Kingston obviously struggling on the wrong end of the ladder, but Bentleigh Greens probably haven't been up to their playing up to their usual standards this season. I know they've had a couple of injury, or more than a couple of injury problems in recent weeks, but they'll be looking at this as an opportunity to get themselves back into the top six, where they currently lie just outside the finals berths in 7th place, separated by goal difference. So anything other than a loss tonight and they'll be back in there, but I'm sure that they'd be looking at all 3 points tonight to make up on lost ground.
Well, again, saying the Bentleigh Greens and not associating it with finals football is something which you're just not used to seeing here in the NPL. And it is a squad filled with injuries, and tonight a really big opportunity for Kingston, who again themselves have had a pretty difficult run in the last few weeks, albeit a morale boosting win in the Cup against St Kilda last weekend. Do you think that result could potentially spur them on to hopefully get a few points tonight to get them out of that relegation zone?
You'd think so, given the context of that game. They found themselves not only 1-0 behind at half-time against State League 1 opposition, but also the fact that they were down to 10 men, and the fact that they recovered to advance onto the next round is quite an achievement, and it'll be a bit of deja vu because they'll be playing this team that they're playing tonight in green in a few weeks' time when they do play another FA Cup game against the Bentleigh Greens, because of course it was Bentleigh who eliminated them from the competition last season.
Well, we'll go through the lineups quickly for the Kingston City, the home side. Hatzer-Curtis is in goal. Bennett, Yancello, Sakaziada, Fahadajic, Suleimani, Zawed, Yakonis, Legrand, Tidmarsh and Irwin. We'll just pause for a minute's silence here. We'll be back in just a moment. As we finish the minute's silence there for a former board member who passed away during the week at Kingston City. Very sad times here, but well-respected man in Mr. Peter Paganis, who was one of the former board members here and long-time supporter of Kingston City and the Kingston City family. So rest in peace there, Peter. As we go through, and well, as we said on the bench, Jovanovic, Etheridge, Conte, Theo and Papadopoulos for Kingston. A few names missing, most notably Nate Cavaliere, still not in goals, and as well a few lads in Alex Canilia as well not playing. Big time tonight for Steve Hatzer-Curtis, the youngster.
Yeah, very much so. He got his first start of the campaign a couple of weeks back against Green Gully. It was a night to forget. And I'm sure he'd be looking for a better start because he conceded in the opening 90 seconds of the contest. So I'm sure the only way for him is up.
Well, a big night for both teams tonight as we will go through Bentleigh Greens' starting lineup as well as the referee gets us underway here tonight. The Bentleigh Greens going from left to right in their traditional green strip, and from right to left the home side, Kingston in the red and white as that ball's played out for a throw. For the Bentleigh Greens, of course, in goals, Ryan Scott, Alexander, Webster, Fry, Yankovic, Josh Meeker, Tyson Holmes, Lambateridis, Zidias, Mitrovic and Yule. And on the bench, Baynard Smith, Meeker, Tristan Meeker, the youngster, Gerondaris, Fabiados and Dumanis. So a lot of players out as well for Bentleigh as the ball comes forward here in the middle, and a chance to strike early, but it's blocked away and comes outside into the middle of the ground. Legrand just holding it up there and gets it out wide, and a chance now to come forward here for Kingston. A few options left and right. The ball whipped in towards the middle and a good touch as well. But again, the ball just cleared away and out for a throw. And well, as we said here, both sides looking to play some attacking football. As we said, both on the receiving ends of a few defeats. The Bentleigh Greens, of course, back-to-back defeats themselves. A 3-0 loss to Altona Magic last week certainly makes tonight's game a must-win, as Demir mentioned earlier, to get them back into finals contention. Currently sitting in 7th, and they will stay that way unless they get at least a point tonight as that ball goes out for a throw. And well, as we said, Demir, just before the broadcast started, a lot of youngsters in here for the Bentleigh Greens as well, with a lot of injuries coming through that squad. Really going to see the depth start to be tested now.
Yeah, it's one of the hallmarks of the Victorian football season is that as it gets colder, you have more and more players drop down through injury as UL.
That's a great ball through, and UL with the strike! Oh, and it's found its way into the back of the net. Well, just not what the doctor ordered for Kingston City here. And it's UL who opens the scoring here for the Bentleigh Greens, back from injury. And the man who's just signed a deal with the new Melbourne franchise in the A-League has just scored the opening goal here, just seconds into the contest. And well, Demir, we mentioned just before how important it was for Kingston not to concede the opening goal. They have done so here, and a great start for the Bentleigh Greens.
Yeah, it's a case of deja vu for Kingston City, who conceded inside the opening 90 seconds of last round's game against Green Gully, and the team in green tonight have punished them again as well, with UL just a bit too quick for his marker, and then expertly tucks it away into the corner. Hatsa Curtis, you're a goalkeeper, Brandon. I'm going to ask you, do you think he should have done better in that situation?
Look, he has got a bit of space there in front of him, but you'd probably say it is near post. Maybe he should be trying to cover that. But again, just too easy to get into the box in the first place, you'd be thinking. Valentino UL, to be fair, he's put a lot of power on the strike. And, well, the Bentleigh Greens, it's exactly the start they would have wanted here tonight. Of course, as we said, a bit low on confidence. And again, for a side that's been so used to success over the last few seasons, it is going to be a real test here for John Anastasiadis to try and get this group back into the form we know they're capable of. Because we know with a full-strength side and when playing at their best, they can be one of the best sides outside the A-League in Australia. But it's just a matter of probably getting that confidence back as the ball's played into the box. And now a chance potentially to just make up some ground here for Kingston. Ball just held up and played out to the right-hand side. Now forward in again. And the ball played inside centrally and across the face of goal. Great chance for an equaliser. And it's 1-1. Muad Zwed gets forward in the back post. And what a response that is to going behind. And well, we just spoke about how good a start it was for Bentleigh to get themselves an early goal. Well, Kingston with the absolutely perfect reply. Great attacking move down the right. A really dangerous ball across the box. And Zwed at the back post to put it away.
Well, we said that Kingston City couldn't have asked for a worse start to the game, falling behind so early. But I guess if you're Nick Tolios, you couldn't have asked for a better response from your team after going behind for the second time in as many weeks to an early soft goal, you've got to say. They've replied well this time, and congrats to Muad Zwed on getting that goal, because he's been a player who's undergone his fair share of injury heartaches in recent seasons. Of course, he missed the entirety of last season through injury, so good to see him get back on the score sheet for what is his first goal since 2017.
Well, a great goal for him, and again, really good play to get into the box there. And it was Tidmarsh actually held the ball up. He's playing out on the right, which is not accustomed to obviously being a fullback by trade, but he's done well there to get forward and just find that overloading run from Iaconis, and was a fantastic ball across the box to find him. And well, again, you just got to say Bentleigh, that has been their Achilles heel of late, just conceding sloppy goals, and they'd be disappointed there to have switched off in that moment after going ahead. But now Kingston looking to hold on to the ball and try and work that ball forwards, but given away, so flicked into the path of Mitrovic. He goes back inside to Tyson Holmes here, who's under some pressure from Yancello, but Holmes gets a strike on goal, blocked initially, comes back to Mitrovic, and now out to the left, so potentially an opportunity to whip it into the box. Just held up there again, and Mitrovic now, he resets himself, and ball ends up coming off his face, I think, there, and now Kingston do come forward with a high ball forward, so Legrand just holds it up and tries to flick it over the head of Webster, but he resets to his goalkeeper in Ryan Scott, and now the Bentleigh Greens with a chance to come forward here through Charlie Fry. He just holds the ball up, just Fry, and gets it out to Zidias, who himself, usually a left back, moving across to the right. We're seeing from both sides tonight, really trying to use the depth of both squads, moving players around from their usual positions. As Webster goes back to Ryan Scott again, who just takes his time to find Fry, and well, you can just see here from both sides, and we've seen a number of times this season, of course, Demi, having done a few Kingston games ourselves, always looking to come out and attack the opposition early, and of course, we've just seen there again the danger of attacking that fullback and getting in behind. Without the likes of Alex Cornelia tonight, it'll be interesting to see how the likes of Zwed and Tidmarsh do stand up.
Yeah, very much so. And it's not only those two, also Daniel Bennett, I have noticed, has been pushed into a more advanced role. He's usually at Kingston City's right back. He's playing as the right winger with Ali Suleimani dropping back into that position. And Bennett's made a lively start himself. So it'll be interesting to see if he can cause the Bentleigh Greens defence more problems throughout the course of a 90, because from memory, he's naturally a right midfielder / right winger as opposed to a right back where he's usually utilised by Kingston.
Well, we saw that attacking intent a few weeks ago, of course, when he scored the equalising goal at the time against Heidelberg United from a good 25 yards out, and that was a fantastic finish as well. Again, it always helps to have a fullback or a winger that can move all across up and down that line. As now Kingston do look to come forward as Fahadajic just holds up and looks for the run forward, doesn't really find it, so he goes back to his partner at centre-back in Sakaziada. Now it's Yancello. Gets it in centrally there, and now Sved just dropping in deep to receive the ball. Irwin under pressure, just resets across towards the right wing, and Bennett. Now it comes out inside again. A good ball in front to Legrand. He's just marshalled out into the corner there, is Cooper Legrand, though, and in the end, somehow the ball was kept alive. For a moment it looked like it had gone out, and in the end the Bentleigh Greens reset through their goalkeeper anyway. So now it's Charlie Fry who will look to come forward here. So we're not even at the 10-minute mark, and already we've seen 2 goals. So, as we said, plenty of attacking football so far being played here as the ball finds Mitrovic and a few openings in front of him. He's got Yule to one side. He's got Holmes in front of him. He ends up going out wide to Zidias, who just holds it up and looks across. Was that a handball? Linesman's flagged for it, so it's going to be a free kick. And an opportunity here for the Bentleigh Greens to whip that ball into the box. And again, there Bentleigh breaking forwards well, and Zidias getting into a good attacking position there on the right-hand side, and now a chance to whip this ball into the area.
Yeah, Zidias, if I'm not mistaken, is another one who's playing in a more advanced role tonight. Out on the right wing, usually a fullback. I think Charlie Fry's actually gone into that right back role. Of course, Bentleigh are missing Matt Crooks, who signed for the Greens from Adelaide City in the off-season. I thought he made a tremendous start to life at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex, but a bit like many of his teammates, he's been caught by the injury plague in recent weeks, and he's been a big loss to him. But when you have someone like James Zidias and Charlie Fry, you've got 2 youngsters that can do a job for you.
Holmes with the corner kick whipped in towards the back post. Ball falls into the midfield, and the referee finds a free kick in there, so it's going to be a chance for Kingston now just to clear their lines. And well, you do mention that, and a few young boys in there, and the likes of Charlie Fry and James Idias have been around the NPL for a few years now, but both becoming established players themselves, both obviously talented. Of course, Idias came through the Melbourne Victory youth system, Charlie Fry a junior at the Bentleigh Greens and came through himself, and that's something which really has been a stigma to John Anastasiadis' tenure here, because there has been the lads that have come through this system over the years, starting with the likes of Connor Payne all that time ago, and others that have come through and played senior football here to go on to better things. Great chance for them now, especially with this run of injuries coming up.
Yeah, very much so. And if you remember back to the first season of the NPL, the inaugural season back in 2014, which was so successful for the Greens, given the fact that they were the first team from outside the A-League to make that march into the latter stages of the FA Cup. One of the hallmarks of that team was the amount of youngsters that it had, whether it was the likes of Christian Carvalho, Luke Gallo, Lewis Foster, Nick Teichman, and so on, who all contributed and played their part over the course of the campaign. And I know that I'm probably missing a couple of more names from that list, but when they deserve a shot, he is not afraid to give the young kids a go, John Anastasiadis. And I mean, not only do his teams play great attacking football, but he also does promote youth when they're deserving of the opportunity, and you've seen the likes of Zidias and Charlie Fry be beneficiaries of that in recent years.
Well, it is a throw here. A chance again for Kingston City to try and put some pressure on going forward. So here's Tidmarsh here to take. Throws it in quickly. And now it's Yakonis. Tried to roll his man, lost it. Now Fry, he comes forward, but Fahadajic is there, and he comes into midfield with the ball, does the big centre-half, and he lines up a shot from long range too, and well, Ryan Scott had to react and get down quickly. And in the end, he just scurries onto that second ball before Legrand could get to that. But again, a good little drive forward from the Kingston City centre-half, and a decent strike on goal as well. But now it's Fry who just holds it up and finds Zidias here. Now back into Charlie Fry, who resets again through his goalkeeper. So Ryan Scott just takes his time on it, then spreads the play across to his left back, comes back inside again. As you see here, Kingston just happy to sit off and allow Bentleigh to play forwards through the back as Fry elects to go long. Sakizada was there. Titmarsh under pressure, goes back to Hatzakirtis, did enough to clear. High ball forward now, strong header, one down by Jankovic, comes into midfield again. One down initially, but not held, and now a chance here for Zved to come forward. He's got options left and right, he just couldn't quite get the ball out his feet though, could Muad Zved, and again here a chance for Bentleigh to come forward. A strong win though there on the left-hand side. Now it's Iaconis with a chance to cross. Just holds it up and in the end plays it off Charlie Fry, so it will be a throw. You see both sides to me looking to get forward on the counter-attack early and really look to drive the ball through midfield. That time there again for Kingston, just unlucky, but Zved looking dangerous in the early exchanges.
Yeah, both teams are going to be dangerous when they've got speedsters like Sued and Yuel, the two goal scorers on the team sheet, as well as guys like Daniel Bennett, James Idias, and so on. One question I wanted to ask you, Brandon, has been the standard of goalkeeping this season. It got off to a flyer because I think that a number of goalkeepers, you know, think back to the likes of Pierce Clark, Ryan Scott, even Cavalieri had man-of-the-match performances in the early month or so of the season. But I think in the last few weeks, it's really dropped off, and you've seen a number of goalkeepers, whether it's Cavalieri at Pasco Val and a few others, make sort of mistakes that you wouldn't be expecting to see of them. What have you made overall of the standard of goalkeeping across the board this campaign?
I think that goalkeeping is a tricky task, but it's one of the most difficult positions in football. And again, look, I think unfortunately for goalkeepers, and Cavalieri is a tough example because he had some exceptional games early in the campaign, and unfortunately you're more remembered for your mistakes half the time than sometimes for your performances. So again, I think that it's something which is difficult to judge.
Yeah, just ask David De Gea on that point. So it's one of those things, but yeah, just a lot of goals being flown in over the course of the last few weeks and so on, and I think that ultimately, while the standard of goalkeeping I think is the best outside the A-League, there would be a few goalkeepers that would be quite disappointed with the way that they performed over the last few weeks, but again, you're only as good as also the defences that you do have in front of you, so while it is easy to blame the goalkeepers, a lot of the times there's question marks that need to be asked, not just of the defence, but of the whole team and how much pressure is being applied, how much space has been covered and so on.
Yeah, as we said, goalkeeping is a very difficult position, and there's certainly a lot of talented goalkeepers in the NPL this season, and a few veterans as well, the likes of Chris Theodoridis, who actually I was with today. He gave me a very good groin massage following my Sunday thirds exponentry yesterday, and he certainly made sure to let me know to remember that when we got on broadcast tonight. So again, not just a talented goalkeeper as Chris Theodoridis, as the ball comes forward over the top there, but given away. So now Sakizada on the ball, and he elects to go long and over the top towards Legrand. Fry caught underneath it and did well in the end to get that down and just reset the ball across into midfield now as Webster comes forward. And now it's played over the top, and Yuel was in an offside position, so that ball is going to be Kingston's.
Now, Brandon, as we always are, we are live and interactive tonight, so keep the comments coming in, the likes, the shares on Facebook and also on YouTube. We do have a comment coming in from Club M Australia, who says, good luck to our Mauritian international star Cooper Legrand of Kingston City, who I'm sure is looking to break his goal-scoring drought for the campaign tonight. Also, Daniel wants to know, Brandon, what's the football problem so far? Not sure what that is a reference to. So yeah, keep the comments flooding in. We will read some of them out tonight. If you've got questions over anything that happened this weekend in NPL land, do let us know. Or if you want to tell us a bit about what happened in State League land, do let us know.
The ball comes forward into the middle. And that's just played back in towards Webster now. Is now Charlie Fry on the ball and out wide. Now clipped over the top, but again, Hatzakirtis is off his line quickly, and he elects to just come inside and get on the ball. And when we talk about young goalkeepers, and Steve Hatzikirtis is one who, again, he's gone to a good situation for himself. Of course, I actually used to train with him a fair bit back when he was at his Melbourne Victory days, and he was always a kid who had a fair bit of talent and maybe just needed a bit of a chance to break forward. And we have heard, of course, that Nate Cavalieri has moved back to Newcastle due to some family issues early in the week, which is disappointing, but does give an opportunity to a young player who, again, has been in the system a while and now probably has the chance to try and cement himself in the starting 11.
Yeah, both Cavalieri and Keanu Moore have returned back to Newcastle, and we wish them all the best of luck up there. I'm sure they'd be delighted to be back home with family and friends. But when it comes to Hatzikirtis, would I be correct in saying that, a bit like you, he's a South junior through and through?
Yep, he was at South Melbourne when I was there as well, so went through the system and then ended up going out to the Melbourne Victory for a few years. So, again, someone who, and again, we spoke about goalkeeping quite extensively, but it is a hard and long race for any young goalkeeper to come through the system, and there certainly have been a lot of very talented keepers who, for one reason or another, either through injuries or whatnot, aren't exactly playing at the level which they should be. So, again, as the ball now comes forward here, as Fry comes in and wins that battle there with another ex-South Melbourne junior and Chris Irwin, and he just got a little bit of a stomp there as well, did Irwin, and he's just stayed down there. So the referee, Perry Moore, is just going to come across and just try and manage this situation. As you just hear a few of the players coming across as Chris Irwin gingerly gets up to his feet. As looks like it's going to be a Bentleigh Greens free kick.
We've spent quite a bit of time talking about all the absentees and the departures for Kingston City, but one big benefit and positive for Nick Tolios is the return of Faisal Sakizada, the most experienced defender on the team sheet. There, I suppose it helps, given the fact that he has returned into the team, because Ryan Love and Simo Jovanovic are both out of the starting 11, presumably through injury. So he definitely provides a lot of cover and experience and quality in that final defensive third, and I think that the likes of Fethagic, Tidmarsh and Suleimani will only get better with him marshalling the defence.
Well, a former Afghanistani international as well, I believe. So certainly a lot of experience coming back into the side. And again, as we spoke about that relegation battle at the minute, of course, Kingston City sitting currently in 13th place on the NPL Victoria table and 5 points behind the third place, so the outside of the relegation zone. So again, and a result tonight would be highly important, but just getting some experience in at the back again, something which any side in the league would love to have, is that's going to be another free kick here for the Bentleigh Greens. So Jack Webster just looks up and just carries the ball a few metres forwards and looks to restart players. We have hit a little bit of a lull after such a fast start, as we do look through a few of the other comments in here and a few lads that I am very familiar with. Dave Gibson, of course, the assistant coach at Beaumaris. We did have a few Sunday League hit-outs last year. I'm pretty sure I scored from around 35 yards against his boys. But he did have the final say, of course. A veteran of Beaumaris now, and of course in State League 1. And Andrew Cartanos, another player who played a lot of years of juniors with. Unfortunately injured at the moment at Heidelberg United, but he's one that's very used to hearing my voice on very high decibels. Usually probably abusing him for not tracking back for his man, but he'll probably pop up and score something in the top corner, so we'll give him that credit.
Or a worldie like he did in last season's grand final as Bentleigh take this corner.
Ball into the back post, headed down now, and a strike on goal! That's a fantastic save from Hatzikirtis. Well, we spoke about the young goalkeeper getting a chance, and Tyson Holmes really lined that one up from the edge of the box. And to be fair to the goalkeeper as well, he has seen it late, and a great reaction save onto the crossbar. And, well, a really good opportunity there for the Greens.
Not just seen it late, but that shot had a lot of force behind it, a lot of power on it, and so easy for a goalkeeper to not get enough on it, and for the ball really to hit him and go into the back of the net. But Hatzikirtis did really well there.
Ball in again, headed away, and Kingston just riding this real part of pressure here from the Bentleigh Greens at the moment. As another corner is due to be taken, and well, again, these are the chances here which the Greens will be wanting to take, of course, starting to get themselves on top of this contest here. As we just edge in towards the 22nd minutes, as the ball is whipped into the middle again, and it flushes across the face, and this time it is in. And while I'm not sure if it was an own goal or not, I think Jankovic is taking some of the credit for it. But either way, it's the Bentleigh Greens who retake the lead, and well, after surviving a few forays into the area, that time they do get their goal, and they do return to the ascendancy here. It's 2-1.
Yeah, and I think it was Jankovic who had the final touch on that one. He'd be delighted with his part in that goal, and Bentleigh Greens, after putting on some pressure in the last few minutes, get duly rewarded and are back in front now. They're always such a danger from set pieces with the likes of Webster and Jankovic in there, and it proved to be the case.
Well, that is 2-1, and again, very disappointing goal to concede for Kingston City, especially for Hatzikurtis, who that time really couldn't do anything about that, and just moments before making a fantastic save. But now it's Kingston who look to get themselves level again as Fahadajic looks up, and the raking switch of play there finds Ved, whose first touch is ahead of himself, and he just couldn't quite keep it alive, could Muaz Ved. And that ball goes out for a goal kick, and well, for the Bentleigh Greens, it'll be a goal which they'll be very, very glad to have taken, of course, as we said, scoring so early in the contest and looking bright, but that equalising goal just pegged them back. But John Anastasiadis will certainly be delighted with his team's response. Yeah,
most definitely. I think when you get a break that early on by taking the lead, you're looking to maintain, and for them it was a bit of a shell shock, that the fact that they lost it so quickly. But they worked hard since scoring, and as they look to apply more pressure here through Tyson Holmes marching forward.
Holmes on the ball, just holds it up and now goes back into the middle, so just tries to get inside. It was a dangerous ball, but Webster did really well to hold it up. That time, though, Mitrovic just caught waiting for it, so now it's Irwin who just gets out wide at full-back, and he's brought down there from behind, so the referee's going to come across, and Chris Irwin, he's been in the wars a little bit early in this contest, and the referee just gives a little of a glancing stare at the Bentleigh Greens man, and a few words that are being said here. And now I think that Fahadajic has been given a very stern telling off for his comments towards the referee, so just a little bit of afters had here, presumably for the few fouls in from behind against a few Kingston City players, as Chris Irwin gingerly gets to his feet again. And as we said, both sides in desperate need of a win to break that drought at the moment, of course, both with 1 and 2 wins respectively in their last 5. And such a tight and competitive league, getting those 3 points is absolutely critical, as the ball comes across now and Sakizada on it, looks to come forward, just holds it up, goes back into Fahadajic. Of course, 2 left-sided central defenders tonight can sometimes make for some difficult decisions in playing out, but a long ball over the top from Sakizada again, a good header down though from Bentleigh, so it's going to be a throw taken quickly. So now it's Fahadajic again, who looks to come forward into midfield, and he's done well there, the big central defender. He gets it out wide there to Bennett, now Yakonis, but he just couldn't quite lock the ball in. So now Tyson Holmes, he gives it away this time. Zved with a bit of space, he strikes it on goal and just couldn't quite find the target, could Muaz Zved. And again, Kingston City there, just not able to get that shot on target and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to make the most of tonight's outing, Muaz Zved. Of course, he scored one so far. He came close scoring another one. I guess for a player like him, he's looking to make up for lost time, given the fact that he missed the whole of last season. And I believe he also would have missed Kingston City's FA Cup victory against St Kilda, because that fell on the Thursday, and we do, of course, know about his E-League commitments.
Well, I wonder how that conversation went down with Nick Tolios. Can't play this week because I've got to play PlayStation. So something which I think is a bit of a newer age fad, I think, with certain players.
To be fair, it is competitive E-League action, and he does get flown up to Sydney to play in the Fox Sports studio. So I think, given how long the arrangement has been going on for, I think Nick Tolios is more than understanding, and he's a much younger coach who's probably played a game of FIFA or 2 in his lifetime, unlike many other coaches in the NPL.
Well, having played more than just 1 or 2 games of FIFA in my lifetime, I can certainly vouch for the boys that are doing well and representing some of these local clubs in the E-League, and it has been a great exponent of, again, another avenue of football viewing for a lot of our viewers here in Australia. So the ball played out the back now for the Bentleigh Greens as Webster just holds up and looks to get it forward, clips over the top. Just a little bit too much on that though, so Kingston again will be able to retain possession. As just holding up there, Slimani to take the throw. Now Legrand just presenting the Mauritian international. Comes back inside. Now it's Holmes with a bit of space. Slips it through. Yuel's offside. Just. Didn't look far away there, Demir. And a good opportunity again in Tyson Holmes. He's been dangerous when picking up the ball in those areas. And Yuel made a really good run. Just missed timing it. But that time could have been through on goal.
Yeah, well, we've spoken about what a dangerous player he is, how he can hurt teams with his speed and directness, and I guess one of the things that you do get with moving him up front is that it's not that much of a big loss to be without services of Matt Fertel, because UL does provide you something different, I guess a lot more directness, and a bit similar to the former Bentleigh Greens forward Chris Lucas, so I think that they have missed to some extent this year. He was always quite capable of launching into those runs, dropping beneath the shoulder of the last man and really giving opposition defences a lot of trouble, and I think that Yuel is capable of replicating that role in the position that he's been used tonight.
Long ball over the top. Well, we have just heard from another E-League man in Peter Cesanis that Muadzwe did end up playing against St Kilda. So, again, I'm sure Nick Tolios would have been happy with that he did play his game as the ball comes into the edge of the box, and Bennett just trying to find a bit of space to shoot, but given away. Holmes tackled there, play on. Mika with a wide ball towards Yuel, but Sakizita did well to get there first. Now Sved just holding it up and under pressure there, wasn't able to retain possession. So Holmes again looks up for the run of Yuel, and that time he was onside. So a chance here for Bentleigh potentially. Yuel. And he's well tackled there by Sakizata again, who held him up well. Yuel couldn't quite find the pass centrally, so now it's Ved on the ball. He's got the run of Legrand in front of him, but again, just couldn't quite find him. And now the Bentleigh Greens able to recycle possession through midfield. And a chance for them to get themselves forward here as Lambadaridis turns inside and looks to play forwards. Ends up going back to Charlie Fry, who's got himself on the ball a fair bit tonight, the central defender. Lambadaridis again just dropping into midfield. And Fry that time giving it away as Legrand has his pocket picked there by Lambadaridis, and Webster just comes forward again well, and Mika turns inside, and now a chance here for the Greens to maybe recycle possession. A great turn of pace as well, and the ball played through towards Yuel, but that time he's offside. And again, it's going to be a Kingston City free kick here. And then, well, Valentino Yuel is certainly making some really dangerous runs. And again, being back into this side, such a vital inclusion, of course, had such a great start to the season with scoring goals for fun pretty much every week. And, of course, getting his signing on at Western Melbourne as well. A great exponent of the talent here for the NPL in Victoria.
Yeah, of course, and Yuel himself was no stranger to that injury curse that has struck Bentleigh over the course of the last few weeks. And I said it will be interesting to see how he goes over the course of the campaign, because when you're a new player coming into the league, and obviously while scouting and opposition analysis has improved over the years, particularly with the onset of live streaming, there is a bit of into the unknown about you, an unknown factor that it'll only be a few weeks before teams really start figuring you out. So it'll be interesting to see how Yuel, I guess, responds to that, particularly if you'd imagine a few defenders would, I guess, adopt rougher treatment on him and so on, given how much of a danger he is. I know he had a bit of a difficult second half when they played up against Melbourne Knights I believe it was round 4 when they beat the Knights, when they lost the Knights 2-0 after a barnstorming first half where he was close to man of the match. He really struggled and dipped in that second half, like most of his teammates did. But I think that overall he's shown tonight the quality that he's got, and it's no surprise that a new A-League franchise in Western United has taken a plunge on him, and it'll be interesting to see how he does perform in the A-League.
Well, it is something which, again, with John Anastasiadis being involved there at that franchise, it'll be interesting to see just how many players from the NPL in Victoria do end up getting an opportunity to potentially step up, because there certainly are plenty of talented footballers. Speaking
of that, Brandon, have we seen the Matt Miller effect in full swing? With reports coming out over the weekend, I think it was Joey Lynch who tweeted it, saying that the likes of Christian Carvalho, Blake Carpenter, Josh Wilkins, Anthony Giselle, and I believe one more are going to be on trial with the Central Coast Mariners in a few weeks' time. So, thoughts on that?
Well, I think, again, it's fantastic to see, and all those boys mentioned and a number of others who have been in this league for a few years now, certainly talented enough to make that step up. And Matt Miller's one who, for sure, has been someone who, again, was in the system at Melbourne City, dropped out of the system, came back in and played a few really good seasons at South Melbourne, got his opportunity at A-League level, and certainly showed everyone that he was talented enough to get himself a contract with the Newcastle Jets this year. And, again, it's something which really great to see. And I'll mention a few other boys in the NPL at the moment, but the likes of Stefan Zinni as well at Avondale, Liam Bolland at Avondale, a number of those boys, of course, playing really well. These are lads who have been in this league, have dropped out of the system, and now really pushing to be getting an opportunity at the top level. So it is fantastic as we see Sakizada on the ball, and he recycles possession across to Hadžić again. And now a chance for Kingston to come forward potentially. Jancello, he holds it up, and now it's Sakizada. He's got plenty of time to carry the ball forward into his half, and now it's Tidmarsh who just holds up and goes inside to Jancello. And just recycles again here as Bentleigh just allowing Kingston possession of the ball on the halfway line as now it's for Hadžić, who drives forward into midfield again and has another long-range strike, but rolls into the arms of Ryan Scott. And we've seen the big centre-half looking to do that a few times tonight, looking to use his power and strength to get forward. And it just maybe looks like a potential lack of movement in front of the ball because Bentleigh are happily just sitting in and compressing that space and not allowing Kingston to really play forwards.
Yeah, Feder Hadžić has been one of Kingston's better performance over the course of a disappointing opening 9 and a bit round so far this campaign. I've been impressed with his maturity in defence, particularly given the absentees that they've had with the likes of Sakizada, Jovanovic and Ryan Love spending a bit of time on the injury.
Oh, that's a great ball there as UL on the ball and a chance here to potentially get a shot away, and he just puts the ball over the bar. And, well, we just saw there, sorry to interrupt you, Demir. Again, the danger of Valentino UL when he gets into those positions, and that time just unable to devote the shot on target. But, again, balls in behind and a bit of speed from UL, certainly causing a lot of problems.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, that X factor, that explosiveness that a player like UL has is really something that I think it's a luxury for the Bentleigh Greens that a lot of other teams in the league would love to have on their books, particularly given his quality, because not only does he have the attributes, really, but he can definitely put on a show when he goes out and performs on the weekend. And I guess, hopefully he doesn't lose that in the A-League, because I think one of the things that has been noticeable with the A-League over the last few years is that you do really lack having an extensive list of players that you can really think of that are those types of flair players that can take people on, which I think was a big reason why so many people love to watch Daniel Arzani in action, because he was a breath of fresh air in a league where wingers, for one reason or another, weren't particularly, accustomed to dribbling and, taking their men on and so on. But I think UL's certainly a line wire.
Well, Mika on the ball, gets it out wide. Zidias just played behind him initially, so he's had to recycle and get the ball back outside to Mika again. Gets it inside to Charlie Fry now. He's got a few runs ahead of the ball, one of them being Mitrovic, who gets onto it there, gets it down well, uses his body to hold it up, and then clips it into the middle, but no one there to receive. And Bennett just happy to clear that ball away in the path of Legrand, who, was well marshalled out of it there by Fry. And then Webster, and a good pass there from Holmes, just a little bit too much on it. And the ball rolls into the arms of the goalkeeper. And while we will go around the grounds here, as there has been a few others, sorry, Demir.
I just wanted to say on those Central Coast Mariners trialists, Jerry Shalados of South Melbourne and Nate Cavalieri, formerly of Kingston City, are the two others. So we'll wait on official confirmation of that, but the rumour mill is certainly in overdrive about those handful of, half a dozen NPL Victoria talents that are getting a glimpse of the A-League, hopefully.
UL doing well there to get it into the box again. Zidias whips it across the face. A good chance here. Falls into UL again, but he just couldn't quite get it under control. Falls out to Lambatteridis, who strikes this time deflected and into the back of the net. And the Bentleigh Greens have a third. And while I think the last touch came off Mitrovic there, and the Bentleigh Greens, again, some really good overloading play out wide. A good ball into the middle wasn't dealt with. Lambatteridis in a good pocket of space, and a really smart little deflected effort there off the shot from Mitrovic, finding the back of the net, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, well, Mitrovic comes back and haunts his old club, really. Player that spent a number of seasons here at the Grange Reserve, really lighting it up, and has come here tonight in this opening first half, and he's been one of Bentleigh's best performers, and he's had overall a great season. Not so much in front of goals, but more so assisting him, and he'll be happy to get himself on the score sheet and give Bentleigh quite a commanding position as we approach close to half-time.
Well, 36 minutes gone. And it's Mitrovic, who, again, has spent a few really big seasons here at the Grange Reserve, coming back, as you said, to haunt his former side. And now it is the Bentleigh Greens who have taken the ascendancy here, and, well, after an initial equalising goal from Kingston, now have plenty of work to do to get themselves back into this contest, as it's Tidmarsh on the ball here at left back. He whips it over the top, and, well, Ryan Scott for a moment had to scurry back, but in the end it goes out for a goal kick. As well, as we saw earlier this weekend, Demir, a few really big results. It started on Friday night with the Altona Magic beating Port Melbourne by 2 goals. So on Thursday night with Altona Magic beating Port Melbourne by 2 goals to 1. Melbourne Knights beat Gully by 2 goals to 1. And then, of course, we saw on Saturday Avondale extending their winning run. They've been absolutely fantastic with a 3-1 win against Oakley. Hume with a last gasp result against Pascoe Vale. Heidelberg recording a 5-2 win against Dandenong City, and then, of course, Dandenong Thunder drawing 2-2 with South Melbourne. And as we've seen, the difference between the top 6 and the bottom 4 is just so tight at the moment, and differences, and again, points, especially you look at the likes of tonight with the Bentleigh Greens now potentially moving back into finals contention. It really is something which is so tight at the moment.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, pick of the bunch for you.
A tough one, and we'll get back to that in a second, as the ball's out on the left-hand side, centering inside again, and Sakazita just did enough there to intercept the ball as Fahadajic gives it away. Now it's Zidias who holds it up. He's got Mitrovic just central of him. He ends up going himself to Zidias, and in the end it's out for a corner kick. So again, the Bentleigh Greens doing well, as it looks like Zidias just has a little bit of a problem there following delivery into the box. Maybe he might have given himself a bit of a stud there. Well, going back to that, I think that at the moment you've got to say Avondale, 10 games, 9 wins and 1 draw. Absolutely flying at the minute. But then again, you've got the likes of Heidelberg United and the Melbourne Knights, Altona Magic as well, who have come in and been so impressive in the last few weeks especially. It really is so tight. And of course, you can never count out a side like the Bentleigh Greens as well, with so many injuries, as the ball is whipped into the middle, high, cleared away initially. Now it's Bennett who turns and plays it long forwards, but only the Bentleigh Greens there at the back, so the possession is recycled through Ryan Scott. And now it's Zidias on the ball, who turns back into midfield and just finds Tyson Holmes, who, again, one of the stalemates of this side now, of course, coming across from South Melbourne in that 2014 season where the Bentleigh Greens were so successful. And has certainly been one of the key players in their rise to becoming one of the true powerhouses of Victorian football. As the ball comes inside now to Webster. Just holds it up, and now he goes to Lambadaridis, back into Fry, who recycles again through Ryan Scott. Now Webster again. He looks up and goes long and high over the top as the ball just drops in over the head of the defender, and now it's Kingston looking to recycle possession through Zved. Sent it in there to Yakonis, but just couldn't quite find his man. So now it's Tyson Holmes. He's got plenty of space in front of him as Holmes. He goes out wide inside to Mitrovic here. Beats his man, does Mitrovic, and strikes into the back of the net. That's a great goal from the Bentleigh Greens. And Vejbor Mitrovic has his second of the night. And, well, just like that, they make it 4-1 with just minutes to go in this first half. And, well, now it's becoming a case of damage control for Kingston City. A great goal there from Mitrovic.
Yeah, and he got his first of the evening only a few minutes ago, and he's backed it up with a brilliant second that he knew a hell of a lot about, given the fact that his first one just seemed to take a touch off him, however intentional it was. But yeah, it's a really disappointing last few minutes from a Kingston City perspective. They did well to get themselves back level so soon after conceding, but they've been anything but solid since then, and conceding 3 soft goals again, and it's not even half-time yet, will disappoint Nick Tolios.
Again, you just got to say it was far too easy for Mitrovic to find the space in the box there, and just a little shimmy onto his left and a really good finish past Hatzakirtis. And, well, you just got to say now, Kingston, they've really got to pull themselves out of this here as the Bentleigh Greens look to get themselves back into form tonight. And, well, as we look at that table at the moment, of course, Oakley Cannons on 5, Kingston City on 5 and Dandenong City on 4. That's the bottom 3 at the minute. Pascoe Vale, the closest side to those 3 in 11th spot, and they're on 10 points. So 5 points already to make up between a relegation playoff spot and safety. Certainly something which they wouldn't want that gap to be opening up as the ball's played over towards UL. But in the end, it goes out for a throw. As now Kingston City will just look to try and get themselves through the last few moments of this first half. It's going to be Tinmarsh to take, and he throws long over the top. Good header there from Fry. Copped a nudge in the back as well. Referee says play on. Lambadaridis tried to find the space there to win the ball back. Fry coming inside that time, and maybe just a little over physical was Charlie Fry. So it's going to be a Kingston City free kick taken quickly out wide. Slimani on the ball. He gets it into Chris Irwin here, who comes forward. Looks to clip the ball over the top, but again, given away. Soleimani in a dangerous area, but Josh Meeker coming across and making a good challenge to get that ball out of play and for a throw. As we just enter the final moments here of this opening period. As it's Zved on the ball, cries for handball, not given. Ball crossed into the box, it took a deflection, and, well, the ball had gone out according to the assistant referee, so it's going to be a corner kick as Ryan Scott remonstrates that he kept that ball alive. So not happy about that is the Bentleigh Greens goalkeeper. But, well, this is a really good opportunity here now for Kingston. They haven't had much luck in the last 20 minutes or so in terms of getting forward. Now a chance to get some big men into the box.
Yeah, it is. Going back to the Bentleigh goals, important for the likes of Mitrovic and UL to be a presence in front of goal with Fertel, Suev, Brezzi all out.
Ball whipped into the middle there. It's a dangerous delivery, but Ryan Scott with a good claim of the ball there, and he just lots to get his side out and spread his centre-backs wide as he rolls that ball out wide to Jankovic now. As now on the ball, Bentleigh is resetting inside to Scott again. And that back 3 tonight has looked quite solid. Of course, Fry, Webster in the middle and Jankovic on the left. And you've got the wide players in Zidias as well, the likes of getting forward and creating. Of course, so used to seeing the Bentleigh Greens play with the 4 at the back and their conventional 3 wingers up top. But again, when you're having to reshuffle the side and reshuffle the squad, always good to have versatile players who can step up and play in slightly different positions. So a chance now for Zidias to get that ball across again as Webster comes across here at centre-back. Now outside to Jankovic again, who of course scored one of the earlier goals for the Bentleigh Greens. Holmes dropping into midfield. Now Lambadaridis again. Gets it back all the way to Jankovic, who plays Charlie Fry. Under a bit of pressure there from Bennett. Tried to clip the ball over the top towards Zidias, but again intercepted. So an opportunity now for Legrand to get forward. One-on-one with Webster. Just holds it up. Cooper Legrand, and that time looks to get the ball into the area. Couldn't quite find a Kingston City shirt, though, and the ball cleared away and out for a throw as we enter the final moments of the first half.
Yeah, and we've got Josh in a comment saying volleyball to the A-League. Well, he's definitely playing like an A-League player tonight. Dean reckons that it was a soft free kick for Perry to give a few minutes ago. Got to give Dean Manea and Matt Sultana a shout-out because they did the double shift, I think, on Saturday by calling the Avondale-Oakley game in where Parkville and then going out to Dandenong South to call the Dandenong Thunder South Melbourne clash. So busy day of football for those two boys, and they witnessed quite a few goals. Brandon, your thoughts on that Dandenong Thunder and South Melbourne game, because it seems to be the game where Brandon Barnes burst back into life. I know 3 goals in 9 games isn't too bad of a record, but when you're Brandon Barnes, when we're so used to a player getting as good as a goal a game, he certainly seems to have found his form back again.
Certainly ominous as well, and 2 very good finishes from Brandon Barnes. And that was a really good game on Saturday night, and credit to the boys as well. Of course, I did see that double shift being taken, and, well, having done that a few times myself over the years, it's certainly something which you have to be resting those vocal cords a few days after. But as the ball goes across and is played out again, it's, Well, again, just shows how tight the league is, that the likes of Brandon Barnes and Kieran Dover and Peter Skapetis as well. Really talented side the Dandenong Thunder have. Currently just in a really tough position at the moment, but that result was certainly a confidence booster against the South Melbourne side, who as well were looking quite dangerous on the night as the ball goes out for a throw. So Zidias will come across and look to just get himself here on the ball.
Yeah, while Brandon Barnes might have gotten the goals, I was also impressed by Blake Carpenter, who got both assists on the night, and good to see South Melbourne, Giuseppe Marifiotti back in the goals. I'm sure he would have been quite happy, not only with that, but also to be starting a game with his brother, younger brother Giordano alongside him, and Billy Constantinidis, who of course somehow didn't score his inaugural South Melbourne goal in that, I think, round 5 game against Kingston City here, and who got suspended a few weeks after that against Pascoe for 3 games for a red card, got his first South Melbourne goal as well.
Well, that is half-time here as the players quickly scurry into the rooms on a cold night here in Melbourne. But it is the Bentleigh Greens who, with a late flurry here, do lead by 4-1 against Kingston City tonight. And well, as we mentioned, Demir, earlier in the broadcast, a really fast start and some early goals as well from Valentino Uel and Muad Zved look to have gotten this off to a fantastic start. But some late goals from Jankovic and a double from Mitrovic have certainly put the Greens in the ascendancy here.
Yeah, Bentleigh needed their attacking players to step up tonight with a number of absentees, and the likes of Uel and Mitrovic particularly have certainly done so. Uel's been a handful for the Kingston defence to deal with, and Mitrovic, of course, getting those 2 goals late on, has come back to haunt his club. It'll be a tough dressing room to be in if you're Kingston City, because that's a few weeks in a row now that they've been quite poor at home. It's certainly defensively they're looking all over the place, so I think it's something that they'll look to rectify in this second half. But overall, disappointing from a Kingston City perspective. But if you're John Anastasiadis, you'd be quite pleased with the way that your side has played in this first half, particularly in attack.
Well, that is the end of the first period here at the Grange Reserve. Plenty of football still to come here tonight. At half-time, it's the Bentleigh Greens leading Kingston City by 4-1. The teams are back out and we are ready to go over the second half here at the Grange Reserve. A massive, massive clash here and a massive second half for Kingston City. Can they get themselves back into this contest? The Bentleigh Greens, 4-1 leaders as Kingston kick off from left to right. Bentleigh from right to left here. And, well, your commentary team, of course, Demir Kulash and yours truly, Brandon Galgano. Demir, as we saw in that first half, the Bentleigh Greens, after an early opening goal, were pegged back, and Kingston for a moment looked like they might have been able to make something of this game, but some really quick late goals there, and a double from Mitrovic really late in that first half certainly made this a difficult task for the home side now.
Yeah, it wasn't to be for Kingston. I think the golfing class really told as that half went on, with Bentleigh being quite prolific going forward. And you look at someone like Mitrovic, who for a number of years was Kingston City's best player. He moves to the Bentleigh Greens, and you're sort of thinking that maybe he might struggle there, but he had a fantastic 2018, and he started off 2019 well. And I mentioned that the likes of himself, Valentino Uwal, and also Mika will have to really step up with the likes of Fertals, Webb, Baresi, all out injured, and they certainly have in that first half.
Well, an early chance here for Kingston to get this ball into the area, and well, just as Slimani was going to take that free kick, the referees just remonstrating across with a few players as Jack Webster and Faisal Sakizada, I believe, just having a few wise words. And well, the two skippers tonight, they shook hands before the game. They're certainly not looking like shaking hands right now. And well, Perry Muir, he's always known as being one of the more forthright referees in the league, been around a long time, and just simply told them both to shut up and get going again. So it is going to be a free kick here as Slimani looks to whip this ball into the area. It's a dangerous ball, flick to the back post, and oh, well, that could have been a potential opportunity there for Kingston, but Tidmarsh was arriving, just couldn't quite get to that flick, and the ball goes out for a goal kick. But a good little sider there early from Kingston. They'll be needing more of those balls into the area.
Yeah, will do. And as always, teams in this league are set on set pieces, and Kingston City, with the likes of Sakizada, Iakonis and Fethagic in there, would definitely fancy their chances as Uel tries to break away here.
Now a chance here for the Bentleigh Greens again as Uel cuts inside, tried to find Mika, but a long and high clearance away. All Bentleigh Greens, though, at the back as Jankovic just turns on the ball and with time goes back to his goalkeeper in Ryan Scott, who looks up there to Webster, turns into midfield world as the centre-back. Now it's Jankovic again, just holds it up and finds Uel with a good pass. Was that a handball? Perry Muir says no. Now the ball comes into the middle again, and Lambadaridis came in, initially won the ball, but it bounced back to Zved here, who surges forward into the middle. Now a chance for Irwin on the left, who's overloading well. Here is Chris Irwin, and wins a corner kick. And Charlie Fry was adamant that the ball came off the Kingston City man, but again, a good fast start here from Kingston. You'd imagine Nick Tolios chatted at half-time to me. It would have just been, let's just go out this Bentleigh Green side and just try and get ourselves back into this contest.
Yeah, although I don't think he would have said it that nicely. I think he would have been quite disappointed with the way that first half panned out after getting themselves back level. But they've made a good, encouraging start so far this second period.
Sved with the ball into the box, but shallow on the delivery. Now a chance again here for Kingston. So Sved just cuts it inside again, given away. And now a chance here for the Bentleigh Greens to come forward through Mitrovic. And he gets it across towards Uel, but the line will beat both of those players as Yancello comes across here to take a throw. And that's another player, Anthony Yancello, who has had a really solid season in a disappointing opening to the campaign as a club. And well, he's a man who's been plagued by injuries over the last few years. Of course, played with him at Moreland City during his time there and at South Melbourne as well. But certainly someone, a box-to-box midfielder who certainly has thrown his weight around and been a really important figure in this side so far this campaign.
Yeah, very energetic, Anthony Ancello, and I think he's a player who's thriving with the opportunity to start in, week out, because he was at Port Melbourne earlier on in his NPL career, and I think he was coming off the bench on a handful of occasions there, but he needed to make that drop down into NPL 2 and to get himself regular game time, and he did that firstly at Brunswick City and then at Moreland City, where I think he was an important player for them. A bit like Zwed last year, Ancello missed the entirety of a 2017 season when he first signed for Kingston through injury, so he's relishing the opportunity to be playing week in, week out in Victoria's top flight.
Another ball into the box there, given away, and Well, there were some cries for that ball going out for a corner kick, but nothing given. So again, here a chance for the Bentleigh Greens to come forward, and dispossessed of the ball there was Jankovic. So now a chance here for Iaconis. Bit of space opens up in front of him. He's got a bit of an overlapping run coming on the right-hand side from Suleimani. Yancello finally does find him. So Suleimani now on the ball. He centres there towards Iaconis, and Bennett strikes, but just couldn't quite get that shot on target. And again, Kingston City with a bright start here to the second period, but unable to trouble Ryan Scott in goals, and it goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, there was to be no repeat of his wonder strike from a few weeks back against Heidelberg United. Of course, from a more acute angle, that one, and with the ball sort of dropping uncomfortably for him or unfavourably, I think it was always going to be tough to get the right connection. But again, like we said earlier, it has been a much more positive start from Kingston City this first half.
Well, a massive collision there between Josh Meeker and Ajin Fahadajic, and well, Josh Meeker maybe came off second best a little bit there. If there's one person that I wouldn't want to be running at full speed into a 50-50 with, it is Fahadajic, who, just looking at him, he's a bit of a man-mountain there at centre-back for Kingston City. And, well, that time there, certainly, I think Josh Meeker did a full mid-air flip. To be fair to him, got up very quickly. Of course, former schoolmate mine at Haileybury College, as the ball comes into midfield, given away. Now Mitrovic with the strike, but that goes well over the bar and out for a goal kick. And again, Verbal Mitrovic would be looking for his first NPL Victoria hat-trick for the Bentleigh Greens. And again, someone who's relishing the opportunity with a few players out injured, the likes of Joshua Barasi and Matt Thurtell in that front third, and certainly played his part tonight with a double, as that's a low spearing pass forward from Bahadovich, but couldn't quite find his man. Now Uel on the turn, under pressure there from Jancello. Mitrovic finds Uel again, just couldn't quite keep that ball alive though. And it goes out for a throw in here. So again, a chance for Suleimani to take it. Kingston can look to come forward.
Yeah, loose touch there from Uwal, who is also looking to get another goal and increase his tally for the season, of course, looking to make up for a few lost weeks with that injury from a few rounds back. But overall, I think we did speak about, in the first half, those potential NPL Victoria trialists at Central Coast Mariners. Jacob Alexander, of course, spent about 6 weeks back. He was up at Brisbane Roar trialling at his hometown club. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any activity or interest for him in the off-season.
Well, now a chance coming forward here for Bentleigh. Ball out on the right-hand side, cut back to the edge of the box, but again, just a shallow delivery there. And now a chance for Kingston to break forward here. So it's Ved on the ball. He looks to go inside, just stops and props and doesn't really like what he sees. Eventually he finds Jancello, who now opens up to Irwin. Back in there to Fahadajic, who comes forward here again. And now it's Suleimani to Bennett, who just clips it through again to his fullback there. And Suleimani with a good delivery to the back post. Zved there arriving, but couldn't quite get the shot on goal. And again, the ball comes out there through Mika. Tidmarsh that time giving it away. And now the Bentleigh Greens will look to try and recycle possession through Lambadaridis. They do have a throw-in regardless, so it is going to be a chance now for Bentleigh again, just to get a bit of a grip early in the second half. As well, we mentioned earlier, both benches tonight populated with a lot of young boys, and the Bentleigh Greens especially, with 3 under-20s players on the bench, so potentially a good night to unearth some talent, one of them being Tristan Meeker, of course, the younger brother of Josh Meeker, who started tonight, so a bit of a family affair there as well. We mentioned the Marafiotti brothers playing together as well for South Melbourne on Saturday night. There aren't all that many players and brothers doubling up in the leagues at the moment, other than the Marafiotti brothers. I'm just trying to think of any of the other ones at the minute throughout the league.
Well, of course, you've got that coach-player brother pairing between Vitale and Michael Ferrante. I know that the Melbourne Knights last year had Luke and Nicholas Jurcic. I'm trying to think if there's any others of note this campaign, but memory escapes me on that one.
Well, it is a corner kick here, so a chance now to, again, put some attacking pressure in the box here for Kingston. And a good opportunity to throw the big men forward in Vadajic and Sakizada. So well, the goal here might just make things interesting for the last 35 minutes or so, as it's Tidmarsh who stands over this to take. So again, an opportunity here for Kingston. Whipped in towards the back post. Dangerous delivery! And that's a great goal there from Sakizada. And while Kingston City, and we just mentioned there a moment ago, might just have made this an interesting run home. A great delivery into the box from Tidmarsh, and Faisal Sakizada, the man wearing the captain's armband for Kingston City tonight, rising highest and putting that ball away past Ryan Scott to make it 4-2.
Yeah, terrific header there at the back post from Sakizada. Had enough power on it. Did well to also get there first. There was a bit of a few half-hearted appeals from the Bentleigh Greens players about a potential free kick there, but Perry Muir waved it away, and Sakizada gets Kingston City back into this contest. 4-2. It's still got a mountain to climb as Bentleigh launch another attack, but they're certainly closer.
Well, again, what do Kingston City have now in terms of trying to get themselves back into this contest? It's Lambadaridis on the ball, gets it back out wide to Tyson Holmes, dropping into midfield to receive. Now Mitrovic, who, again, has to turn back and recycle through Lambadaridis. Now he's got Jankovic on the left-hand side. And Bentleigh, well, as we said, they were so dominant towards the end of that first half, and this is exactly where Nick Tolios will just be cursing that final 10 minutes of lapse in concentration, because, again, Kingston were certainly in that in the opening 25 minutes or so, and now making it 4-2. If they can get another goal back, will really put some pressure on here as Webster just holds it up and gets it across now to Fry. He initially looked like he was going to be going long, but did well to sell his man in Legrand. So it's going to be Webster again. Recycles across to Jankovic. Now a chance for Bentleigh to come forward through midfield. Mitrovic turned inside, and that's a harsh call on Jancello. Looked like he got the ball there. But Bentleigh will look to take quickly, and Perry Muir just says no, didn't get that ball stopped just yet. So again, it's going to be a opportunity here for the Bentleigh Greens. And this is the moment now where John Anastasiadis will really just want his side to slow this game down and allow for maybe that flow to return in the Bentleigh Greens' favour. As Webster looks up, high over the top towards Ewell. Was he brought down? Referee waves it away. So that's a Curtis. Takes quickly with the high ball forward. Headed away there by Fry. Up in the air was Irwin. Now it's Yakonis, who turns inside well, and Irwin recycles out to the left. Zved looks to weave in and out of a few plays. He did well there. Legrand lays it back and a strike again, but that time easy pickings for Ryan Scott. But you can just see a little bit of a change in shift in confidence here for Kingston. And again, Muad Zved just being really direct. Now that's a great ball forward there for Yoel, who was onside, but couldn't quite get the ball under control. And now, again, it's Yakonis who gets it down, beats the challenge of Jankovic. He's got a few options in front of him. One of them is on the left-hand side, but Yakonis just held it a bit too long, and Jankovic got across. And now Charlie Fry finds Tyson Holmes. End-to-end stuff at the moment here is Holmes. Was he held up there by Tidmarsh? Referee says no. Out wide again here for Fry, but that ball's overhit and will go into the arms of the goalkeeper. Tidmarsh. Back inside to Vahadajic. Sakizada. Confidence just growing here for the home side a little bit as Jancello just recycles again to Vahadajic. Bentleigh Greens just looking to sit in and compress that space. The ball played over the top, but again, intercepted as it's given away there, though, by Jankovic. And now Legrand, he's got an option out wide, and Irwin maybe wasn't the right one. And that ball goes out for a throw. And just seeing here again, the last few moments, some really improved play here from Kingston as the ball comes into the edge of the box. Now it's Yakonis. Recycles to Tidmarsh. He'll deliver into the box. Legrand's underneath it. Oh, that's a fantastic save again from Ryan Scott at a really critical moment as well. A fantastic delivery and really good purchase on the header. That's an absolutely outstanding stop from the goalkeeper.
Well, he would have forgiven Cooper Legrand for thinking that he'd gotten his first goal this season, given the the power that he put into that header, and unfortunately that will be his last play of the evening as he makes way for Max Etheridge, I believe. So unfortunate there, but a tremendous save from Ryan Scott. He comes up big for the Bentleigh Greens just when they needed him most.
Well, again, that's when you need your goalkeepers to do pull-off saves at those vital moments. As the ball's whipped in, Etheridge this time! Oh, and he puts it inches wide. It would have been the perfect start for him. Fresh off the bench, and with his first touch, found himself free in the box, and he'll be really, really disappointed that he hasn't put that away. A great delivery there again from the corner kick, and Max Etheridge with a great chance there to make it 4-3. And well, as we said, Ryan Scott first pulling up with a fantastic save, and then the second one there going inches wide. And well, the Bentleigh Greens really need to get control of this situation, because Kingston is slowly building with confidence here. Now the high and long ball forward there from Scott. Jankovic gets up with the header. Now flicked on there by Mika, but again it's cleared away by Suleimani that time. Lambatteridis into midfield, now cleared up the line. And that ball goes out for a throw, so again, Kingston with a good opportunity now, and you'd think to me here, this next 10-minute period is critical. If they can get a goal in these next 10 minutes, I could really see them getting themselves back into this contest.
Yeah, most definitely, and they've been putting plenty of pressure on the Bentleigh Greens back line, who have done well to withstand it for the majority of the first half, bar that moment where Sakizada did get his head onto the ball and powerfully put it past Ryan Scott, but the Bentleigh Greens goalkeeper definitely bailed his team out there with that fantastic save to deny Legrand, and Etheridge almost making the perfect of impacts.
Well, Etheridge again on the ball, certainly throwing his weight around early since coming on, but that time wasn't able to hold it up, and well, did well to win that ball back though, as Suleimani tackled by Jankovic. I think he got a little bit of a start on the way through as well, but here comes Mika on the ball, just holds it up, back into Charlie Fry now. You just see the intensity of the game is picked up again after a little bit of a lull here. The end of that first period is, well, the start of the second period rather, as now it's Ryan Scott on the ball, and he gets it across to Jankovic. He's got some pressure there from Bennett and has to be quick and nimble on it. He does well to find Webster. Now out at left back again, given away though, and a chance here for Kingston again. Yakonis to Zved. Looks up, he's got options in front of him, one of them being Irwin. Into the box, there goes Irwin, and he's won. Another corner kick here for Kingston. And well, you can just feel that just little rise again in confidence here from the home side. And now a good chance here to potentially get this ball into the area. Well, Zved's delivery has been very good so far from set pieces, but it looks like Damien Yakonis is prone down, and this is not what Nick Tolios would want to see here. One of their more experienced marksmen in Damien Yakonis, and well, that could be his night from the looks of things. He's looking pretty solemn on the ground at the moment. And well, as we just saw there, Demir, if they lose Yakonis now, it'll be a real hit to the hopes of getting that goal back, of course.
Yeah, not only that, but if they lose him for a few weeks or so, it'll be a heavy loss to a team that has already been quite depleted through injury, with all the absentees that they've got tonight in the likes of Lav, Jovanovic, Cornelia, and also the departures. So I guess you can say the mid-season transfer window can't come quick enough for Nick Tolios' men to strengthen and bring in some reinforcements, because I think that's lacking for Kingston City at the moment. But you don't want to lose Damien Iconis, who has been one of Kingston's best players over the last few seasons, as he tests out that injury on the sidelines there.
Ball whipped into the middle again, headed clear. High up and under there from Suleimani. Strong work there from Webster there at the back. He carries inside. In the end, does enough just to get it clear. Bennett played the ball, says the referee, and looks like it's going to be another corner as Yakonis is waved to come back on. I don't know if he's ready to, though, and it looks like he's in a bit of pain. I think Demir's night could be done, to be honest. He's in some extended discussions here with the physio, and I think you can just see in his body language as that ball comes in that he's probably not right to continue. That ball in the meantime whipped into the back post, and Jankovic, well, for a moment there, speared the head up back towards his own goal, but just put it wide. Well, still engaged in long discussions there is Damien Yakonis and the Kingston City medical staff. If it is a tweaked hamstring, Demir, especially on a cold night like tonight, certainly shouldn't be testing it out if there has been some damage done. In the meantime, it's going to be Tidmarsh, who, of course, assisted the second goal moments ago, and that's another really good delivery into the back post. It falls into the middle again, and Ryan Scott just did enough to get down onto that, and now a fast break potentially for Bentleigh, but the touch eluded Tyson Holmes, so now it's Yancello on the ball again, under some pressure there from Mika. He holds it up and just unable to keep it. Mika just nipped in, and that time the ball cleared away. Good clearance too. Good play there from Kingston to retain possession. That's a strong challenge though from the Bentleigh Greens in Zidias, and Tyson Holmes was just taken out there. Well, it looked like Lambateridis rather, right in front of the benches. So in the meantime, it does look like Yakonis has returned to the field. So how long that lasts for remains to be seen. Difficult one, of course, wanting to get back into this contest, but just see how he's motioning in this next few moments. Damien Yakonis, as it's taken quickly in here to Fry. Holds it up and recycles back to his captain in Webster. Now across to Jankovic. As the Bentleigh Greens just maintain possession of the ball here. It's the high switch of play there, that time given away. So now a chance again for Bentleigh on the counter though. It's Tyson Holmes with a bit of space in front of him as Holmes. Great pass, Mitrovic for a hat-trick. Really important save there from Hatzakirtis. He got across, made himself big and did just enough there to thwart the effort. And well, that could have been game, set and match there for Volleyball Mitrovic, but a really good save from the Kingston goalkeeper.
Hatzakirtis did really well there, stood tall, made it definitely, spread himself out wide, made a bigger presence of himself to deny Mitrovic the hat-trick, and he's definitely kept his side in the game.
So it's Alexander to take the corner kick. He whips it into the back post. Webster had a free header, put it straight into the ground, falls again. Cleared away there by Sakizada. Flicked down again to Alexander. Now it's clipped over the top there by Jankovic. Race to the ball. Alexander does well to nip in there. Now a chance to cross. Whips it low into the middle, but good defending initially from Kingston City. And now it's Bennett here on the ball, who looks to bounce off Etheridge. He turns inside. He had Bennett striding through on goal, but good intervention there from Jankovic. And now it's Tyson Holmes again, who finds Uel. He's onside. Plenty of space too here for Valentino Uel to attack, and this is where he's dangerous. Uel strikes and takes a deflection. So it is going to be another corner kick, and the Bentleigh Greens now slowly getting themselves back in, as it is going to be Damien Yakonis, as we mentioned earlier. Obviously wasn't right to continue. He's replaced, and coming on, I believe, is one of the youngsters there. Is it Conte, I think, that's come off the bench? We'll confirm that for you. Oh, it's Theo, rather, that's come off the bench. So Anthony Theo it is who comes on, the number 16. So, again, disappointing there for Damien Yakonis. He would have loved to have stayed on, but I think you can just tell by his body language when talking to that medic out on the touchline that he's probably trying to convince himself more than anyone that he's okay to continue, but obviously not, as the Bentleigh Greens come forward here, brought down on the edge of the box there. So it's a chance now to take this corner kick. So free kick rather. So a chance now for the Bentleigh Greens.
Yeah, I must admit I wasn't aware of the fact that Theo had moved from Dandenong City to Kingston City. I guess given that he is under 20, it allows him to move outside the window. So he's a good solid pickup for Kingston City. Probably wasn't having the best of times at Dandenong City, and a good chance for him to get some extended minutes with all these injuries as well.
Ball taken inside, header on goal, and just fell down there invitingly for Uel to attack, but Hatzakirtis was there first, and again looks to release quickly, was held up there by Uel, who was looking to obstruct the goalkeeper, but in the end a high up and under clearance, headed down there by Jankovic, only as far as Bennett. He switches play, but intercepted well there by Charlie Fry, who just did enough to divert that ball from finding the left back, as Tidmarsh now on the ball, takes the throw in quickly, finds Etheridge, who again has been quite a handful since coming off the bench as the big man, but again intercepted. Now cleared away by Sakizada to Slimani, and that time he's given the ball away. So a chance here for Alexander again. Another one who's been impressive at left back tonight has Alexander.
provide a lot going forward as well, which in the modern day, the modern game, really, all good fullbacks are good attacking fullbacks, you've got to say, and Alexander is definitely no different. I did watch him a few weeks ago in that game against Oakley, where unfortunately he did get sent off late in the game, but in the first half he provided a fantastic assist for Tal to get the second of the evening for the Bentleigh Greens on that night, and he's been a quality pickup for them since moving down to Victoria midway through last season from Lions FC.
Well, Suleimani finds Bennett now on the right-hand side. Chance to whip it into the middle. Deflected clearance. Now Tyson Holmes on the ball, and he gets it inside to Zidias. And now Josh Meeker. Some space is starting to open up here as Kingston look to attack this game and get back into it. And that ball in behind towards Lambateridis is dealt with initially. Hatza Curtis at a task. Gets some good purchase on the clearance. Fry gets up with the header now. There is another man down, and it looks like it's Sakizada who might have copped a bit of a knock after that defensive challenge in the initial phase of play. And again, another player who Kingston would not want to lose. We mentioned how important his experience is on his return. Scored, of course, the second goal tonight as well. And well, the medic comes on there. It was a really good late challenge there to divert that ball into the path of Hatza Curtis. And well, this is, again, dangerous time here for Kingston if they were to lose another experienced player.
Yeah, it is, and, particularly given the fact that he's come back into the team in the last, tonight's his first, I think, start back in the starting 11, so he'll be a big loss to them, given the fact that Love and Jovanovic are also out, so in addition to the injuries that they've got currently, it's looking very worrying for Nick Tolios if Faisal Sakizada makes an early exit.
Well, he's gingerly gotten to his feet, and again, signs don't look good, and already you can see it looks like the bench is being readied here. So Kingston, a second potential player going off with injury tonight. It just goes from bad to worse, really, for the home side. Of course, right as they were really pushing to get back into this contest as well. As we enter the final 20 minutes or so here, we're really going to see now just what either side have in the tank. We mentioned earlier tonight, of course, both sides have really been hit hard by injuries in recent weeks, as that change is about to be made. So Faisal Sakizada is coming off, and coming on again is Jovanovic at centre-back. So a change there, and Jovanovic comes into the centre of defence as Jankovic tries to come forward with it for the Bentleigh Greens. Is forced back there by Etheridge, and now it's Ryan Scott who looks up and plays a high and long ball forward. Strong header there down from Lambateridis, but was under pressure there from Tidmarsh, so it is going to be a throw.
Apologies, it's Michael Mullins who's out for injury and not Simo Jovanovic, who has also had his fair share of injury troubles so far this campaign. Overall, I think Kingston City have got some good depth in that area. I mean, you look at the likes of Ryan Love and Mullins himself, who, I called that game with you against South Melbourne. I thought he was one of the best on field that night. Such a mature display from the teenager, and I think that Nick Tolios, a former central defender, would be quite happy with the contingent of centre-backs that he does have on his books, but would be cursing his luck given the fact that most of them, most weeks, he's got a few of them out through injury.
Again, Yancello gets it out to Suleimani here now. He looks up. Alexander with the clearance. Can either side instigate some energy back into this contest as Kingston look to try and really go at this last 20 minutes? But it's Alexander on the ball, and he's clattered there by Anthony Yancello. In the end, it is going to be a Bentleigh Greens throw. And as we mentioned earlier, there's one thing Anthony Yancello does not do. It's pull out of a challenge. And that one there from Jovanovic, he comes in and just gets his toe to the ball. So again, another chance here for the Bentleigh Greens, who are yet to go to the bench tonight. Of course, Kingston have already gone there twice with two forced changes. It's actually, all three changes have been made, of course, with Legrand coming off for Etheridge as well a little bit earlier, as Jovanovic was out-muscled there by Holmes, who gets into a little pocket of space there, finds Alexander, but Jovanovic did well to clear. Now Bennett, decepted. Holmes, cheeky little nutmeg there from Tyson Holmes, and the strike only straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Would have been a really nice goal had he scored that. Tidmarsh Looks to find Zved, who used his body well there on the on-rushing Charlie Fry. Now it's Zved. He looks up, finds the run there on the left-hand side from Theo. So a chance for him to whip the ball into the box. A good delivery, to be fair. But again, Ryan Scott gets out onto the spot and gets himself on the ball there, the goalkeeper. Oh, that's been a long night tonight. Plenty of action at both ends. And Scott holds the ball, and now Bentleigh Greens can come forward again.
Yeah, it's been one of those sort of nights where there's been a few moments of lapses, I guess you can say, in concentration that have cost both teams, and also certainly us here in the commentary box. But overall, I mean, it's been, compared to the flatness of Kingston's last game, which was that 4-0 hiding at home against Green Gully, it's been really energetic end-to-end action tonight between these two sides. Did get a comment, if we switch focus a bit, of course, we did speak a bit about the NPL action over the course of this weekend, but...
Theo, good strike and good save there from the goalkeeper. Theo, to be fair, has had a really good little impact since coming off the bench to me.
And he'd love a debut goal as well. I assume that, like most players who probably move clubs because they're not getting enough game time, he'd be loving to show Dandenong City what they're missing out on. Of course, they themselves have had their struggles over the course of their maiden NPL Victoria campaign. So Theo probably relishing a fresh opportunity.
Well, now a chance for Mika, edge of the box. Mika strikes, but on his left that time. Ball rolls out for a goal kick, so an opportunity now. And that first change is going to be made by the Bentleigh Greens. So looks like coming off is going to be Joshua Mika. And coming on, as we'll just get the team sheet there up. Of course, Josh Mika just copped a little bit of a knock earlier in the contest. So he's certainly had to run hard in midfield tonight. And he's replaced there by Fabiatos, the youngster off the bench. So, again, good chance now for John Anastasiadis to go to his bench.
I believe that is Fabiatos' senior debut in NPL Victoria, so congratulations to the young kid, and a good chance for him to make an impact tonight, of course. 13 minutes plus stoppage time on the clock remaining, so he'd be relishing the opportunity to get himself out in the park. And I mean, it is a whole different ball game for a lot of these 20s players when they do come into the senior fold. They probably don't have as much time as they do in the 20s, and really you need to make an impact, because if there's one thing that I guess most coaches will tell you is that the opportunities might be few and far between, but once you get one, be sure to take it.
Well, Ryan Scott plays the ball outside, so now it's at centre-back with Webster. Plays it out to full-back as cries for handball not given. The linesman's flag's been up a few times, and he's given it the way of, well, initially pointed towards Kingston. His linesman pointed towards Bentleigh. Now both coaches are having a bit of a war of words on the touchline. Nick Tolios certainly one of them. In the end, it's going to be a Bentleigh Greens free kick, so he's going to go the way of the visiting side. Now it's Webster, takes it quickly. Zidias coming forward. Now goes into Jankovic, and Webster again. Looks to find the run of Fabiatos, who, full of running, the youngster off the bench, and tried his very best to keep that ball alive. But does go out for a goal kick. And again, one thing the Bentleigh Greens have done well is they've just marshalled that little pocket of enthusiasm that Kingston had after scoring that second goal. And again now, just looking like they've gotten control of that midfield battle again, which really has been a really tightly fought contest as Charlie Fry came in late there on Etheridge. So it's going to be a Kingston City free kick.
Yeah, and of course, Kingston had that period of this second half where they were really putting the Bentleigh Greens under a lot of pressure. I guess they haven't replicated that in the last 10 or so minutes, but they've still got enough time to get themselves.
Oh, good ball in. Etheridge brought down. Referee says no. Well, that was a contentious decision there. Max Etheridge did really well to roll his man into the box, and, well, the referee looked at it, gave a real strong wave away, and Max Etheridge, he's been certainly throwing his weight around since coming off the bench, and that was certainly a moment which could have been important there, but the referee, under no hesitation in waving that one away.
Yeah, definitely looked to be a hell of a lot of manhandling there on Etheridge. I'm a bit surprised that it hasn't been given based on the angle that I had, but you know, if you're looking at one referee who perhaps wouldn't give those types of penalties, it's probably Muir, who, does definitely allow a lot of physicality and bodily contact. So maybe if it was another referee, it would have been called a penalty. But at the same time, you also don't know the angle that Muir had. I mean, we in the commentary box here had the luxury of having quite a good angle on that one, and certainly seemed to be a hell of a lot of contact on Etheridge, who I think is rightfully angry about that one.
Opportunity here. Tidmarsh whips into the back post. Etheridge! And it's in! Chris Irwin scores. It's 4-3. And well, now certainly is the time for Kingston City. They've rallied themselves back into the contest, and just moments after a potential penalty was waved away, it's Chris Irwin getting on the end of a Max Etheridge header and prodding home into an empty net. It's 4-3 Demir, and now all of a sudden it's game on here at the Grange.
It's a fantastic desired impact off the bench from Etheridge, who has definitely made a handful of himself in the box. Of course, he almost came close to scoring within seconds of coming on for Legrand. He turns to provide it there for Irwin, who timed his run perfectly. The easiest of finishes for the former South Melbourne Championship winning player, and Bentleigh Greens are right back into it. If you're John Anastasiadis, you'd be very disappointed with the way that your side has come out in the second half, not put the game to rest. But if you are Nick Tolios, you'd be delighted with the resilience, the effort, and the intensity that Kingston City have put in. And as a goalkeeper, I'm sure you'd look at the fact that how big does that Hatzikota save seem now?
Well, again, that one late in that second period there, especially when Vabel Mitrovic was clean through on goal, certainly made a big difference. And you got to say, as we said, Max Etheridge has certainly had a great impact. He had a few headers go narrowly wide. He's been throwing his body around, and that time there set himself a really good target and put that header right to the back post. And again now, what is the resilience like of the Bentleigh Greens? It's not the Bentleigh Greens we've known so well over the last few seasons, who have really run out over the top in games like this. But again, undermanned and maybe underperforming a little bit in the second period. Now, really feeling some of the pressure here in Kingston. These are the types of games, and we've seen a number of them this season, where they've gotten themselves into positions of being oh so close to getting some important results, but just missing out. Can they try and change that tonight? But the ball comes into midfield, and surging forward is Idias, who just looks up, tried to play his man out wide, but again, an opportunity now for Kingston to come forward. So now it's out on the left-hand side. Chance to cross. Whipped into the middle. Cleared away by Alexander. Only as far as Yancello. He's got Suleimani to his right. Suleimani centres towards Etheridge, and again cleared away. Jovanovic is first to the ball. Turns back and now goes back to Fahadajic. And now Yancello. Kingston surging forward here in this last 10 minutes. Bennett just couldn't quite get the ball out his feet. Alexander with the initial challenge there. Late tackle inside as well. Jovanovic did enough to get it out wide. Now it's Ved who finds the overrunning in Chris Irwin. He's got a few options in the middle, but that time couldn't quite find a target. The ball's cleared away for a throw. Well, certainly been frantic these last 10 minutes or so, Demir. And poor giveaway in possession that time. And now a chance for Bentleigh to potentially come forward. Plays off the referee in Muir. Now Bennett. Suleimani, good ball. Etheridge bodying his man well. Holds it up to Etheridge. Still going is Etheridge. Gets himself into the middle. Ball played inside. Good challenge there from Webster. Still Kingston coming forward. Good exchange. Yancello looks to deliver, but out for a throw. And Bentleigh really defending deep and compact here. Now the throw. Taken quickly. Yancello. Back to Suleimani. Now Yancello again. Crossing position. Dangerous ball and cleared away. Really good delivery there from Yancello. And that time the referee does see a free kick. And, well, the Bentleigh Greens are riding a real tight line at the moment. And that time again there, great delivery into the area. They really have to just get control of this game and slow it down these last few minutes.
Yeah, and Etheridge has definitely thrown his body around. He's really been a handful for a youngster in Charlie Fry to really deal with. And I think Etheridge, given the years of experience that he has got, not just in the NPL Victoria, but also down in the state leagues where it's really tough out there as a centre forward. You're dealing with centre backs that aren't afraid to kick lumps out of you for throughout the 90. I think he's definitely going to be a bit of a learning curve for the youngster Fry with dealing with someone like Etheridge. But if Kingston do get a goal back here, it's definitely been one of those NPL Victoria classic matches that we've witnessed tonight.
Ball played back to Hatzikurtis. Plenty of urgency here at the moment. You can hear Hatzikurtis just crying, go forwards, as Jovanovic does. Finds Etheridge, under pressure there from Fry. That time he did win the battle, the youngster. Now Holmes gets it to UL. Under pressure there from Tidmarsh, who got there first. Ved just tried to feed it into the path of the fullback, but couldn't quite find him. A strong challenge there, though, from Theo, who's been really impressive off the bench. And now Kingston have weighted numbers here on the left-hand side. One of them on the left is Ved. He's one-on-one with his defender here is Ved. Gets inside, cuts onto his left across the face. Oh, and it's saved brilliantly there by Ryan Scott. What a chance that was for Kingston City. But again, it's cleared away, and now an opportunity here for Bentleigh. And looked like for all the money that ball was in the back of the net, but the goalkeeper for the Bentleigh Greens standing up at a critical moment. And well, what a chance that was. And now Kingston's still on the ball here, still looking for that equalising goals. Ved on it here. He's got Irwin in front of him, pushes into the space. Irwin cuts inside, but Webster did enough. Etheridge won it back. Etheridge striking, deflected, Forster Bennett. Oh, it's another save from Ryan Scott. That time the linesman flag was raised, but Ryan Scott motioning to his defenders to lift their game because he's made two outstanding saves in the last moments here. And the Bentleigh Greens are hanging on just at the moment at the Grange Reserve.
Well, we've got a grandstand finish here, and Ryan Scott is definitely playing his part in amongst this. Kingston City peppering men forward, mounting shots at goal, but the Bentleigh Greens custodian is standing tall. And it's a massive wake-up call for their defenders because they definitely need to lift their game here if they are to avoid conceding a goal. But you've got to admire the resilience and the determinations of Kingston. Being behind 4-1 at half-time, they're winning a goal of it, and they're certainly making a game of this one. And while Nick Tolias might be disappointed with the defensive effort tonight, I can assure you he'd be quite satisfied with the way that the attacking part of the field has functioned because they've definitely struggled for goals in recent weeks, and to get three against a team like the Bentleigh Greens is no, ordinary measure, really.
Well, it's going to be a free kick here. It gives us all an opportunity to catch our breath a little bit. And as we said, Ryan Scott, he's done it a number of times over the last few years for the Bentleigh Greens, but that time there, an exceptional save off that ball into the box from Muad Zved, and it looked like it might have been an own goal deflected towards the back of the net, and great technique on it as well to get a top hand to that and get a really strong claw away from the goal zone as well. Not just to save it, but to get it out of the danger area. Fantastic goalkeeping from Ryan Scott, and well, you just got a motion towards the Bentleigh Greens, and if they can hold on to this in the context of this last few minutes, it really would be a big 3 points. Considering the fact they were 4-1 up and looking so comfortable, though, John Anastasiadis certainly has a lot of question marks, and it's not over yet as the ball goes back to Scott. He looks up, high and long forward. Soleimani underneath it, gets up for a contest there. Jovanovic clears. Holmes underneath it now, finds UL. Tidmarsh was strong. Jankovic that time clearing, and a bit of space for UL if he can get this down. His touch has just gone away from him, for Hadžić was strong in the challenge. Did just enough to make sure that UL didn't get forwards. He's just getting up a little bit gingerly after that. Well, you mentioned earlier, Demir, the standard of goalkeeping in Victoria. Well, I think tonight they've certainly been proven correct that there's some quality here. As we said, at both ends, some really important saves. And now a chance here for Holmes. Trying to work the ball into a dangerous area. He does win a corner. And while this is where the experienced heads, the likes of Tyson Holmes and Jack Webster, two players who have been here and around for such a long time with so much experience around them, really need to take some ownership here and make sure that they grind out this result as we inch towards the final minute of normal time. The Bentleigh Greens still winning by 4-3, but Kingston certainly knocking on the goal at the minute. Lambateridis, good delivery into the box, but Jankovic wasn't able to get there. Hatzikurtis comes a long way off his line. Ball still in, so Fabiados finds Jankovic, clips into the box, but that time couldn't keep it alive, so it's going to be a goal kick, as you can just hear Ryan Scott barking out instructions at his back four. Hatzer Curtis, in the meantime, looks to get this on the deck and playing as soon as possible. So he gets it out to Jovanovic, opens up into midfield, looks towards Theo. Turns in really confidently to Theo. Good ball forwards as well. Bennett comes inside, slip there from Fry. Bennett now into space. Does Bennett go? Bennett into the box. Still Daniel Bennett. Strikes into the side netting. Great run there from Daniel Bennett. Just maybe lost his footing at the final moments as the additional time goes up for 4 minutes. Still plenty of time. Well, that time there again, Daniel Bennett making the most of the slip from Charlie Fry. He's been impressive on the right tonight.
Yeah, I think a more natural advanced position for Daniel Bennett, and he's definitely looked at home and caused the Bentleigh Greens defence plenty of problems throughout the course of this 90.
Scott just clearing that goal kick out of play, so it's going to be a throw here for Soleimani. Taking quickly, bouncing it off. Bennett there, and a foul there given. Now, Perry Muir has hinted that it's a Kingston ball, so... Oh, well, after initially motioning that it was Kingston's, he's now said it's Bentleigh's now. In the meantime, Tyson Holmes was trying to take advantage of that situation and get forward with the number of Kingston City players committing higher up the ground. A little bit of gamesmanship there. We certainly saw that, well, in the football world last night, a very highly controversial moment in the championship between Leeds United and Aston Villa. Don't think we have the time to unpack that incident because there certainly was a lot to it as Tyson Holmes now on the ball, cuts comes to his right, it is Holmes. Good ball inside towards Ruel, bounces off Jovanovic, cleared away. Bennett with the flick attempt, but Alexander gets it down. Now Soleimani looks up and clears high and long towards Zved, who's one-on-one with Zidias. Really looking to run him into the ground there, but Zidias did well to not only clear that, but keep it in the field of play. So Kingston now have to look to get it forward. Yancello tried to flick it forwards, given away. Theo does really well, does Theo. He's been exceptional tonight. He drives past two players, does Theo. He's got Bennett to his right. He slips it into his path. Now does Bennett. Delivery into the middle. Theo there. Flicks across. Bicycle kick. But over the bar in the back post there from Zved. And Kingston City again with the chance to get that goal back. But unfortunately for them, there is no heroics at the back post. And it's going to be a Bentleigh Greens goal kick.
Speaking of Leeds Villa, if Kingston had scored that one, tell you what, the Bentleigh Greens would have been quite filthy because they had James Zidias prone down there on the sideline on the ground. I think he copped a fair knock from Muad Zwed as he was clearing the ball out, and he's still down as I think he's receiving some treatment now as he looks to gingerly get himself back up.
Well, I saw that the Bentleigh Greens physio there was motioning that there should be a substitution because he's looking really in a bad way, Zidias, and you can just see there he's gone down. And well, a good chance now to maybe rack some seconds off the clock as we're at 92 minutes. And well, there's a youngster that's about to come into a very, very tense situation here. And we're going to see who it is, but well, as we said, the whole Bentleigh Greens bench tonight are young under-20s players. There's James Zidias. Now, you can just see Jack Webster is just motioning to his bench to leave him. So the change might not be required. Well, what a start. What an end to this game, Tamir. As we said, it's certainly been action-filled tonight. And while two sides who, again, have been out of form, but credit to both of them, they've both attacked the game tonight. They've looked to create chances, and they've both scored goals. And well, as we said, for the Bentleigh Greens, if they do manage to hold on to this 3 points, it will be a resolute performance as Marinos Gerondaris might be the man who's potentially going to be coming on is if Zidias is not able to continue. Now, I think the change is being made. So Gerondaris is coming on. And coming off is James Zidias. So Gerondaris will play the final minute of this game.
And Gerondaris is actually, we spoke a bit about brotherly love and the siblings in NPL Victoria. Gerondaris and his older brother, I think Stefanos, are both at the Bentleigh Greens, and they've both seen minutes this campaign. Marios actually had a solid debut against Altona a few weeks back where he actually started.
Good chance here on the left. It's Lambateridis, blocked well by Soleimani. And now Hatzer Curtis is there one last foray forward for Kingston. Chris Irwin on the ball. He's got Bennett in front of him. Irwin still going on this right-hand side. Bennett looking to make a run. Finds Theo. Turns into trouble as Theo and just couldn't quite get himself into space. And while Alex Theo off the bench, he's been absolutely sensational tonight, Demir. And you mentioned a good pick-up there from Dandenong City. And off the viewing here in the second half, he certainly was one of the main instigators of this comeback tonight with Max Etheridge. Again, Nick Tolios will be delighted that players like that, of course, we saw Yakonis go off injured already. Alec Cornelia is not even playing tonight. Coming in now, Zved. He was brought down. Advantage has been played. Zved into the middle. Headed clear. Now Yuel given away again. Battle on it. Cries for free kick not given. Whipped into the middle, but that's over the head of everyone. And that's going to go out for a goal kick as we are now well and truly into the 5th minute here of stoppage time. And that might have just been the last chance there as Perry Muir just looks at his watch. And he just says that, Ryan Scott, you've got to get this ball and get it moving. Huge final moments here. Scott goes long. Muir looks at his watch. Still we play on. Ball goes out of play. It's going to be a Kingston ball. Is there time for one last foray forward here? Over the top towards Theo in a tight angle position there. And well, very, very close call there from the linesman. To be fair, he was in perfect position to see that. Bentleigh throw. Muir puts the whistle to his mouth and the Bentleigh Greens record a vital 3 points. It was hard work in the end. Kingston certainly threw everything at Bentleigh in the final moments of that game, but in the end, an absolutely critical string of saves from Ryan Scott in the final moments have guaranteed a massive, massive 3 points for the Bentleigh Greens here at the Granger Reserve. Well, Demir, as we said, they were 4-1 up and comfortable at half-time, but Kingston, they rallied back, they got themselves into the contest and were within inches of getting themselves a point. Really disappointing. Another night that could have been for Nick Tolios' men tonight.
Very much so, but if you're Nick Tolios, I guess you'd take a lot of heart from that second half performance. A 7-goal thriller, which I'm sure for the neutral would have delighted them and all our viewers out there, because it was definitely one of the best games of NPL Victoria football we've seen this season, and also a thrilling advert for not only the NPL but also for the concept of Monday Night Football, where I guess as a home club playing it on such a unique time slot, you do get maximum reach through the streaming. On the field, of course, I guess you can say that Velibor Mitrovic came out and haunted his old club with that double tonight. But credit to Kingston and the way that they persevered in that second half. I thought Etheridge and Theo were brilliant off the bench. And, of course, Irwin got them within a goal in it, but it wasn't to be. And ultimately, while they'll be disappointed not to have gotten anything out of that contest, they'll take heart from that second half performance, and hopefully the results improve over the next coming weeks. For Bentleigh, they're back into the top 6, so a bit of a scare there in the second half. I'm sure John Anastasiadis won't be too pleased with the defensive performance. Maybe they need some reinforcements if they are to challenge the likes of Avondale, Heidelberg and so on come to business end of the season. But overall, a thrilling night of football here at the Grange Reserve.
Well, a thrilling night of football it was, but the Bentleigh Greens, the ones who come away with a big 3 points, that puts them back into the top 6 and back on course to play finals football yet again, potentially, for a 7th straight season. A fantastic record John Anastasiadis has had here with his Greens in his final campaign at the helm before joining Western Melbourne. And, well, again tonight, Kingston City, they were close, they were unlucky, but the remains the same. They're still in the relegation zone, something where Nick Tolios will have to be looking towards now, getting over these close results and getting towards getting the 3 points. But, Demir, thanks again tonight for the call. It's been a fantastic evening of football again, Monday night at the Grange, certainly becoming synonymous with Victorian football.
Yeah, pleasure to call this one, Brandon. Thank you to all our viewers for tuning in. Hope you were entertained, and see you in round 11.
Round 11 will be the final score tonight, the Bentleigh Greens 4, Kingston City 3. I'm your commentator, Brandon Galgano. Good night for now.